a turkey is great, there's something else that is important. You can't just serve turkey alone, as that would be much of a meal. You need sides to fill out the meal. This includes things like mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, and rolls. The thing to keep in mind is that you want to keep a balance of everything. You don't want too much of various dishes, but still need enough to feed all of your guests. Mashed potatoes I've already covered, and I may do a short refresher later. But let's start with sweet potatoes.
To my southern half, a sweet potato is best wrapped up in foil and baked in the Christmas Eve oven in the hearth overnight, over low heat for many, many, many hours to prepare for Christmas dinner. Yes, they start cooking it in the South the night before. But I also like it steamed and mashed as well. This slow method though, oh, it brings the sugars to the skin and caramelizes the potato. There, to me, is nothing's not delicious than that. These potatoes are served hot, wrapped in the foil at the table. The way I like to eat them is just simply slice them open and put some butter and melted inside. Just eat it out of the crispity, crunchy, sugared skin. It's so good that way. But steamed and mashed is probably the most common method you folks like to eat it. Well, but this method itself, it unfortunately lacks that lovely caramelized layer and bacon it gives it. And that low and slow cooking method. But boiled and steamed and still good is when it's mashed. Another alternative to steaming is trying to make it like baked potato. You mash, and then you put it in a casserole, and then you bake it in the oven to get that caramelized bacon flavor. But one thing you must understand, no marshmallows are allowed on my sweet potatoes.
The most important part comes last. That's the dessert. We are going to talk about pumpkin pie. This is the American custard pie. What is a custard? A careful combination of eggs, dairy, and other ingredients. Pumpkin pie is an egg custard with pumpkin and spices in an open pie crust. The essential ingredients are eggs and milk, and when they are mixed together, you do not want to mess with the engine room. You can substitute almost any kind of heavy squash for pumpkin. Banana squash, butternut squash, acorn squash, but you can't mess with the engine room, Captain. This is a step-by-step process, and the ratios are essential, as well as the steps and temperatures. We will get into the specifics later. Now onto the pumpkin pie. Bear in mind that this is something you will need to do the day before you plan on cooking the turkey. You will need to let this cool overnight. Start by beating the eggs very thoroughly. Then beat into the eggs the sugar until well mixed. your spices and the pumpkin. Once everything is well combined, pour in the milk slowly. Pour this into a pre-prepared pie crust and then bake at 350 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes or until the custard sets. Unfortunately, I can't tell you how to make your own pie crust. That's top secret. This is how it should look when it is done. Now, we made 2 9-inch pies. The recipe we quoted will make you 2 8-inch pies. We doubled everything. These pies took us an hour to bake.
We'll start with mashers. Just make these as you always would. Make enough for all of your guests, and it's alright to have extras. That out of the way, let's move on. The sweet potatoes. Some of you may be scared of these things, but if you can get past their kind of rugged exterior, there's some good stuff in here. About half of a medium sweet potato is about a serving. So half of about that size of a potato is a serving. This one's a 1 serving tater. Peel these so you can get that hard, rugged skin off, and then place in your pot to be steamed with a steamer basket. Place in your pot your food steamer, pour into the pot put enough water in there to cover the bottom of the pot. Make sure you have enough to steam these. Put in about half a teaspoon of salt. Sprinkle it on top, and some pepper for some flavor. Then put it on the stove over medium heat until it comes to a boil. Once it's come to a boil, turn it down to low to simmer, and then steam them until they are ready, just like with a regular potato, fork tender. And then we'll go to the next step. Test these just like you do the other potatoes. Give them a poke, do a twist. Yeah, those are ready. Take them off the stove and drain off the water. We use the steaming basket. Bear this in mind. Now right here, you've got what you can now use to make sweet potato pie. Just like a pumpkin pie, only sweet potato.
Also makes a great side just by itself.
Bacon sweets. Baking a yam or sweet potato is simple. First, select an appropriate sized potato. If you're serving this family style, use a big one, and they get a lot bigger than this. But choose one that's an appropriate size. For an individual size, which is what I like best, pick a potato no bigger than a regular baked potato size potato. Clean them and then wrap them in foil as you would a regular baked potato. You can bake this in a 250-degree oven slowly for at least 4 hours or overnight, depending on the big ones. For best results, cook them slowly. Alternatively, you can bake these at 350 degrees with your turkey. The sweet potato is served at the table, served piping hot in the wrapper. Vegetables are a vital part of this meal, but as this can be almost anything you want, I won't focus much on this. But for turkey dinner today, I'm going to just be making steamed beets. Just make whatever vegetables you like to eat and then set them aside for later. No complications, just what you love to eat, that's what you cook.
Oh, isn't that something? Well, here's for holidays.